Good morning. It's Al Angelo from the Angry Cod. Hey, I want to talk to you about part two of the charter boat. What do I bring? What can I expect? So let's say you did your research and you found yourself a charter boat that you're going to go out on. And we'll just say it's out in the ocean, since that's what this channel is mainly about. So you're going to go out on a charter boat out in the ocean. Well, there's a few things that you should know prior to going. One, do you get seasick? There is nothing worse than getting seasick on your charter boat, and then you can always tell them because they look like this. That's what they look like for the whole trip. I don't want that to be you. Has it been me? Yes, it's been me before. All right. And sometimes it takes a while to get used to being out on the ocean. So you have to go out a whole bunch of times. But there are ways to prevent that. So what you could do is you could talk to your pharmacist. And I'll tell them, hey, I'm a little worried about getting seasick. I'm supposed to go fishing next week. And how can I arrange it to where I don't spend the entire trip huddled up in a little ball in the corner on the boat? So there are several ways. He could give you Dramamine. He could recommend you talk to your doctor and get the little patch behind your ear. There are several remedies that cure that from not getting motion sickness. Now, read the directions carefully. So many times I hear people say, "Oh yeah, I can't understand why I got seasick. I took Dramamine. Like, when did you take it? Well, I took it right when we got on the boat." You got to read the directions and follow them very carefully. And the pharmacist will give you the advice on how to take them. But taking any type of medication, like when you're on the boat ramp, you're probably going to end up getting seasick. So that's what we do prior to even taking off to go to the dock. Is that my wife? I have her. She's prone to getting seasick. I've seen her huddle up in a ball in the corner on the boat on multiple occasions. So when she does take the Dramamine the night before, and follows the directions on the box, she's golden. So follow those directions. So that's one thing you should do. The other thing you should do is, it's probably going to be cold. It usually, when first thing in the morning, especially if you're going on a charter boat, they like to leave at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It's dark, it's cold. And so make sure that you put layers on. All right. So layer up so that as it warms up, you can take layers off or put more layers back on. All right. So layers works best. I like to bring waterproof boots because sometimes I'm on the deck and there's water going by, or they're spraying the deck down. And when your feet get wet and you're out there, it's miserable. So try to find yourself some waterproof boots. I usually wear boots. And then recently I bought the bibs that are waterproof, that I put those over my clothes, because you're on the water, you're going to get wet. And so when you're wet out there and it's a little windy, it's very uncomfortable. So I bought some inexpensive waterproof, they're almost like waders, and at Bass Pro Shop, I think they were like $40 or something like that. And I have rubber boots, and so I'm comfortable when I'm out there and I'm warm. So bring layers. And if you have waterproof boots or waterproof pants, then I recommend that you bring those. All right. Let me give you an example of what I wear during most of the time the winter months. All right. So one, I bring a big jacket. Okay. Now this is just not any big jacket. This is a Gore-Tex waterproof, windproof jacket that has a lining in it. It has tons of pockets. It's got a drawstring where I can suck it in tighter. And one of the cool features about this jacket that I'll show you is that when I put it on, I'll bring it in closer and show you, it has a rubber sleeve that fits tight around your wrist. And that keeps water from getting up into your elbows or under your armpits. So this is a little overkill for the summertime. I usually have one that's a little bit thinner, but these work great, and I highly recommend it. The other thing, I told you that I wear a bib, and this is it right here. So these just go right over the top of my clothes. And if it's hot during the summertime, sometimes I just wear this under my underwear. So I'll put this over my underwear, and I don't wear pants underneath it. And I just wear it to the ocean and back home again. And it's got pockets, and it goes all the way up to the top up here, so that I'm fully covered and waterproof, so I don't get wet, so I don't get miserable. And then I have gloves, I use the neoprene ones without the fingers so that I can still do stuff, touch stuff, have the small things. I don't have a big bulky glove on, but they're waterproof. I can just hose them down. They zip up around my wrists nice and tight. So I use these. And then this is the style boot that I use right here. So these waterproof mucks. And these work great. My feet stay warm. I don't get wet. Um, that's what I use. All right. So that's what I'm wearing during the winter time and just try to stay warm. You want to avoid bringing really big ice chests. Okay. The boat has limited room, especially if you're going out on a 6-pack boat. Leave the big ice chest in the car, and then bring a small ice chest that has your stuff for you to eat. Certain things. Don't bring bananas, man. You want to tick off the captain. Bring a banana on the boat. If you don't know, bananas are bad luck on a fishing boat, so you never bring a banana. I don't bring bananas on the boat or anything made with a banana. But bring yourself a lunch that you could eat that is quick. You can have in one hand, and a sandwich. I like to bring pickles. I bring trail mix. I bring a few different types of sodas or water. Plenty of water. But that's what I usually pack when I go. I bring small snacks that I can have in my pocket that I could eat, while I'm fishing. I don't want to give up any fishing time. I want to be on that reel as much as possible. So taking something that I have to make, like let's say I brought turkey with mayonnaise and mustard, and I have to make it. I don't do that. I make it the day before and then pack with me. I also bring a lot of extra gallon Ziploc bags just in case I need that for the fish. So most of the time the charter boats have something to put your fish in. They'll usually offer to fillet the fish for you and that you have something to bring. But I always like bringing extra Ziploc bags, and it just seems handy when I have them and I need one. I got an extra Ziploc bag. You want to bring your own tackle. I would check with them first to make sure it's okay. Most of the time, they're all right with that. They'll want to make sure that your tackle is adequate for the type of fish that you're going for. So if you're an experienced fisherman, then you'll know what you need for a salmon or what you need for a rockfish. Rockfish, you're going out to the fair launch, you're going to need to have at least 300 feet of line on that reel. So bring in your special favorite lures and all that, ask them. And they'll usually just say, yeah, go ahead and bring whatever you want. I've done that in the past. Most of the boats, well, all the ones I've ever been on, they offer their own poles. Now, sometimes on the big charter boats, you're going to have to rent a pole. So sometimes the pole is included, sometimes it's not included. Sometimes the tackle is included, sometimes the tackle is not included. So you might want to check with that also, so that when you get there, you don't have a surprise that they don't rent out fishing poles and tackle, or they don't have it. But most of them offer it or they provide it. So, and yes, you still can bring your own, but you need to check with them first. That concludes the tackle. Fishing license. You need to have a California fishing license if you're fishing outside the San Francisco Bay. So I usually get my fishing license online. And I just go on the internet to the Department of Fish and Game website, and you can follow the prompts along. Is it easy? No. Okay. Not for somebody my age who's not used to using a computer all the time and going through those websites. But you can, if you fumble through it, you can do it. I can do it. You can do it. All right. And I usually just do my fishing license online. And that way, I take a picture of it on my phone. I take that's where I have it in my favorites, so that when the Fish and Game wants to come over and see me, if I don't have my paper copy, I've shown them the picture that I have a current fishing license, and they're golden. All right. So you can buy a 1-day fishing license if that's what you want. I think you can also buy a 2-day. If you're from out of state, you're coming to California, you can buy a non-resident 1-day fishing license or possibly a 2-day non-resident fishing license, and all of that can be taken care of online. So I've had kids in my class that wanted to go fishing with me, and I asked if they had a fishing license. They said no, and we did it on the way to the boat ramp at 4 in the morning. And by the time we got there, they had a fishing license. So make sure that you show up with your fishing license. They're going to want to see it. Okay, they're going to want to see the number, because they're going to need to log down your fishing number so they can log that you are on the boat. All right. So don't forget to bring that fishing license. Otherwise, you're going for a boat ride and you won't be getting any fish. Make sure the fishing license is, if there's, additional stamps or anything like that, like sturgeon stamps or steelhead stamps or something like that, that you have what you need for that area that you're fishing. So most of the time, in most of California, just the regular standard fishing license covers it. But like if you're going to do crab pots, this is a crab hoop, and we'll get into crabbing another time. But this is a hoop. You don't have to have a special crab stamp at this time. If you're using a trap, which like the cage where they crawl in and they can't get back out, then you have to have the crab stamp. So you want to make sure that if it's a combo trip, like you're going to go to the Farallones and catch rockfish, and then you're going to come back and get crab, that they may require you to have the crab stamp added, since they're using the traps most of the time. But some of them, they're using the hoops. It kind of depends on the time of year. Okay, so just make sure you have the correct fishing license and the correct stamps that go with it in order to be successful that day. You don't want to be left out. And like I said, all of that is available online. As far as when the trip is over, hey, if they put you on the fish and they cleaned the fish for you and they took good care of you, you liked the boat, the people were friendly, then by all means you got to tip them. All right, so tipping, it depends on what you can afford. If this was you saved up for a whole year to go out on this boat, and you might not have a lot of tip money left, but you can tip them whatever you feel that they deserve and what you can afford, and they appreciate whatever it is. And so I always make sure that I tip them accordingly. If they treated me right, I'm going to let them know that they treated me right. If they treated me wrong, my wife doesn't like to be around, but I'm going to let them know that I got treated wrongly. And so, and that encourages them to like maybe change maybe the ways they do things. Okay. So if I'm not happy, there's got to be other people that are in the same boat as me that I wasn't happy. And so there are guide boats that I won't go on anymore. They did me wrong and I just won't go back out with them. But most of the ones that I go with, we get along really well. We have a good time. All right. So those are things that we should expect when you are going to go on a charter boat. All right. Hey, I hope this helped you out. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you out on the ocean. Bye now.